So, here we go. One of the pieces that we have in this is it's founded on integral theory. So the map that we use comes out of integral, which is very spacious, but also makes demands upon us. So there's a little teaching piece that we do at the beginning of each gathering. We have a video there. We'll do that, and then we'll have the PowerPoint online, so we don't have to repeat the same thing over and over. And anybody wants to get a hold of it can do that. So, now how many of you know something about integral theory? So, this is our map, and if you know a little bit about integral theory, there's a developmental piece, the 4 quadrants, which I'll say a little bit more about, and we put that flower in the center of it to point to the fact that we're bringing together a full spectrum of perspectives. And what I want to do is take a look right now at one sector of this. This represents the 4 irreducible quadrants. The interior personal experience that we all hold, who am I? In the lower left are stories and relationships, culture. How do we make meaning together? The upper right points to the objective world of the individual, our brains, our bodies, animals, trees, individual things that we would look at. And the lower right looks at systems. How does it all fit together? And what I want to focus on for just a few minutes is that upper left quadrant, because it pertains to what we're going to talk about tonight. So, let's look at that spiral, and what I want to do is look at the development of the spiral and the personal and interpersonal. So, there are lots of ways of coming at that developmental piece. This is one associated with some of the work I've done on it. So it begins with magical consciousness. The world of fairies and fairy tales, where the world is just this magical place. The classic story is, or the classic orientation is, my child is sitting in the back seat of the car looking out the window and they go, "Mommy, look, the moon is following us." And it's absolutely literal. The next stage is, I call, warrior stage. This begins with the terrible twos and usually goes through about age 7. This is where the ego really starts to develop, to unfold, and say, I'm in charge. The world here is a war of power. I'm right, you're wrong, and that's the only way that it can come out.
I thought you were going to say age 70.
Yeah, doesn't do that, yeah. We could probably think of some specific examples, and then we get into a political battle, probably. Conformist. I want to belong. The teenage years. I discover now that not only do I see you, you see me. And oh my God, now I'm on stage. Any of you have teenage kids. Yeah. Achiever. This is the world of modern consciousness. The individual achieving wondrous things on their own. I am now, instead of being kind of tossed about by the opinion of my friends, now I am in charge of my life. I am the author of my life, and my job or my process is to fulfill my destiny as an individual ego. This is the supremacy of, if you will, in many ways, of the ego itself. Pluralist conforms with postmodern consciousness. We're in this burbling postmodern world right now. And the shift is from the individual to the collective. How do we do this together? Community is the big buzzword of the pluralist, egalitarian, human rights. It's a beautiful place to be. And then self-actualized, or this is kind of the integral stage of development that for the first time sees and welcomes all of these. So what we're going to do tonight is pick up on what we did a couple of weeks ago, and I'll share a little bit more with you. But as we move through it, the question would be, how does your life, what's the thread in your life that you notice weaves through all these developmental stages that you have gone through? All right. Thoughts, questions, disagreements? Yeah,
Sometimes you said you had labeled modern and postmodern.
yes.
Where do those fit in?
Okay, so one of the challenges of drawing a map of integral theory is that Wilbur takes 5 different things and he says this will explain everything. We're doing it in 2, so there's a little bit of overlap. So when I have traditional and modern, those are a little larger, a little more ambiguous terms. Traditional is kind of a larger form, or the cultural form that goes with conformist. Conformist points to my interior individual development, and achiever is associated with modern. Is that right? And postmodern is the one after modern.
That starts around pluralist, postmodern.
Yeah, pluralist is kind of a larger cultural view. The individual orientation, the developmental level is pluralist.